Thank you, Deputy Speaker, and congratulations on taking up that position. I just thought I'd take the opportunity to try and explain some things that have happened here this week for the benefit of my community. I'm like a lot of members, I engage with my community in a variety of ways. One of them is I visit schools, and you tend to go and talk to kids in the final year of primary school, year 6, who are studying our system of government, civic engagement, those sorts of things. And they want to know how this place works, they want to know how government works. It's encouraging when you hear that interest. It's great to see children who are 11 or 12 years old who have often quite a good understanding of how this place is supposed to work. We identify issues that need to be looked at, areas of reform that can be made. Perhaps they go through a committee process, perhaps we get some sort of outside advice or investigation that guides government or guides the Parliament. Ultimately, of course, Parliament is there to make laws. Now, on Monday, a bill that was designed to take Australia forward in relation to the practice of long-haul live export of sheep came into the House of Representatives. It was a bill whose sort of genesis, whose design began with a member of the government, the member for Farrer, and it had started its life in the Senate, and it was passed in the Senate and it came down to the House. It tried to put in place some arrangements that would essentially move us towards an inevitability. I mean, the long-haul live export of sheep is a doomed trade. It's a trade in serious decline on its own terms. It only exists really in Western Australia. It doesn't happen anywhere else in the country. Other nations similar to Australia with great reliance on agricultural produce and exports like New Zealand have got out of live export. Importing countries are getting out of live export. Bahrain no longer receives sheep. What were 6 million sheep at the turn of the century are now down to 1.5 million sheep. It's a trade in mortal decline, and what we need is government working with industry to help us make that transition. I think that is plain. We know that the animal welfare outcomes from the live sheep export trade are intolerable. We don't need another incident to show us that if you're sending tens of thousands of animals crammed into 30, 40-year-old vessels to the hottest part of the world at the hottest time of the year, that is a recipe for animal cruelty and animal suffering. We know that that's the case. So the time is right. The time is right to make a transition. The community overwhelmingly wants that. A majority of people in the Senate wanted that. A majority of people in the House of Representatives actually want that. We know that that's the case. And yet, when the bill came down to the House of Representatives, the government wouldn't allow it to be debated or voted upon. That is the kind of thing that causes young Australians and old Australians alike to throw their hands up in the air and scratch their head and say, what is going on? We talk about people having a lack of faith in the political system and to some degree the political class. We have to look at those kinds of circumstances for some guidance on how we fix it. I mean, if something like the live export of sheep, which has been shown time and time again to produce intolerable animal cruelty, a trade that is on its own terms winding down, that can easily be transitioned to something better that provides stability for farmers, higher value exports, more jobs in Australia, and better animal welfare outcomes. If this Parliament can't deal with that and take us forward, children in Year 6 ask what is going on. And when I have that conversation with them, I honestly don't know what the answer is. I really don't. So there are a majority of people in both houses of this Parliament who know that that's where we need to get to. At the moment, by virtue of some sort of game playing, those majorities aren't being expressed. They're not being able to reflect the majority that exists in the Australian community and the common sense that exists in the Australian community on this issue, and I think that's a great shame.
I thank the member.